So we just got done talking about Monet's flowers. We looked at two different examples. We looked at one of the artist Monet and the other one by an artist named Vincent van Gogh, and we looked at their tulip flower paintings with all the flowers in the front. Of course, this one being black and white doesn't look very good, but just for the memory of the picture. And we're going to draw a picture just like that, and then we're going to watercolor it in. So here's my drawing, kind of what we're shooting for. And we'll start with an 80-pound piece of paper, and you are going to write your name. So I'm going to write Mr. Lundgren. And then you're going to write your teacher's name and your grade. So write your grade and your teacher, your homeroom teacher's name. Then flip your paper over and start with the drawing. We're going to start with what's called the horizon line. Should be a little bit higher than halfway. Nice, straight, and you want to draw gently. You can see my line pretty well, but you guys, I want you to draw really gently so that it's easy to erase later when it comes time to paint. Then we're going to paint or draw some little mountains in the background. We're just going to make a curved line up, curved line down. Starting at the next one here, curved line up, curved line down, so that we can get some mountains in the background and have something that looks just a little different. Okay, curved line up and down, curved line up and down, so that we've got just a kind of little smattering of mountains in the background. Then we're going to put on that river that we talked about, and the river should be just past, if this is the center of our page, we want it just past the center, and it's going to go kind of diagonally off this way. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And you're going to start at that same point where you started the river, and you're going to make it get bigger and bigger and bigger as we get farther out towards the edge of the paper. So there's our little river that we're going to have. Then we're going to put the windmill on, and we're going to put the windmill kind of like, I don't know, maybe a finger or two below the horizon line. You're going to put a straight line, and then you're going to make kind of a trapezoid shape like this, and then you're going to put a top on, kind of like a curved top like this, because the top kind of looks curved like that. And then you're going to take kind of an X, and here's my X. I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to draw a light line, X here. I'm going to X right over the center like that. And these are going to be the windmill blades. And then you're going to take from one side, you're going to draw a straight like that, a straight line down, and you want it to be a right angle off all of these, so that when you come back to make the triangle here, here, from here towards the center, and from here towards the center, you've got a nice triangular windmill blades. Okay, so then we're going to draw our little flower garden in the front, and this way we're going to do tulips. You're going to do a little U shape, okay, and then from that a diagonal line down, a diagonal line down, so that it bumps into that first one, and then you're just going to do a little triangle in the center. Then you can take a straight line all the way off the paper like that, so you have a little tulip, and then you're just going to make a little line of tulips right here. I'm going to kind of draw a very light line right underneath them, so I kind of get all of them the same height, because I don't want, you know, some to be high, some to be low. I want them kind of all to be the same height. And I'm going to draw them. I'm going to draw all the U shapes in first. And once you get into it, it's pretty easy. You just draw the U shapes. U. Okay. And we can have some of them be overlapping, some be near, some be far, some closer together, some farther apart. And I'm just going to draw all my U shapes in. And they're all going to be a little bit different, and that's okay. And everyone's picture is going to look a little bit different, and that's okay too. That's how we want them. We don't want everyone's to be the same. Okay, we want some of them to look different. Okay. So here's my tulips. And what we're doing is we're drawing the tulips in the front, so the people who are looking at the picture know what kind of flower we have. Okay, whereas once we get into the background and we do the watercolor painting part of it, we're going to have to suggest the tulips way far back in the background. So we're putting them up in the front and drawing them really nicely so that the people who are looking at the picture, the viewers, can tell, oh look, there's a line of tulips. And then when they look in the back and they see all the other colors, they'll know, or rather they'll think they know, that all of those flowers are tulips as well. Okay, so here's our tulips. I'm going to put my stems on, 2 parallel lines coming down, just like this. And that's pretty good. We're going to put one more little small windmill over here in the back to kind of show that there's some distance. All right. So we've got a little windmill in the back. Alright, and then we're going to put a little boat on our river. And we're going to put one back here. We're going to make a little straight line for the sail, little zigzag line, and a curved line underneath it for the sail. And then we're going to put one a little closer up, and we're going to make the mast, or the sail for it, a little bit bigger. And we're going to make the boat underneath it a little bit bigger. So we have kind of like a near one and a far one, and we have a near one and a far one. And then we're going to have to erase some of those little overlapping lines in there so that we don't have them sticking out in our picture. And you can kind of see once you overlap things that you've got some nice distance in your picture. Now the last piece that we're going to draw here is the clouds. We're going to have some clouds like right up here in the sky. And the higher up clouds are in the sky, the bigger they are. Okay, and the closer we get down to the horizon line, the thinner and smaller they get. So the farther away clouds are, the thinner and smaller they look. Okay, so you can kind of see how I'm making the small ones down closer to the horizon line, big ones up at the top. So there's our basic picture for our watercolor Monet flowers.